Welcome to Nolan Knows. Now, let's look at the news. 1,400 security badges were lost or stolen at Atlanta Airport. The problem here is that the government is in charge of security. The airlines each should have their own security plan, and that would be a much more secure system because they're accountable. They fail, they lose money. Congress sent a Homeland Security bill to the administration without any conditions. They were trying to prevent the president from just willy-nilly writing law. I agree with what the Republicans wanted to do. I disagree with what the president was doing, at least the way he was doing it. In this case, the Republicans failed for the same reason they always do: cowardice. They care more about getting reelected than doing what's best. Powdered alcohol may be coming to a store near you. A couple of states have already banned it. It's because they think you're too stupid to handle it, so they write laws to protect you from yourself. I don't know how well it'll sell, I don't know how well it'll do, but I suspect it'll be safe and it'll be fun for somebody. A bad relationship is getting worse between President Obama and Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, because he came to the United States and addressed Congress. Actually, the problems go back further than that. But it seems to me that President Obama has strained relationships with an awful lot of our allies since he took office. The French police are looking for some mystery drones that flew around the Eiffel Tower and the American Embassy. I'm going to tell you how this is going to work out. It's going to be a technology war. They're going to find faster drones and they're going to just fly them into the other drones to try to crash them. It'll be a war of the drones. Can't wait to see how it unfolds. Apparently, you can't make fun of terrorists at the University of Minnesota. They've got a little school paper and they wanted to make fun of terrorists, and they've been told they can't do it. You know, if you're using tuition money, government money, they get to write the rules. If you really feel compelled at the University of Minnesota to make fun of terrorists, and I don't blame you for doing that if you choose to, then instead of complaining about it, get some donations from local businesses and print a little newspaper of your own. It's the free market at work. It's time for the story of the week. Hillary Clinton ran her own computer system for her official emails. Everybody would expect that the Secretary of State would use a secure email system at the State Department, but she didn't. She ran her own. She had her own computer network right in her own little house. And now, of course, when they're looking at the Benghazi affair, Congress has no way of knowing if they got all the emails. I'm not sure how far this is going to go. I'm not sure if they're going to prosecute her. I'm not sure that she's not guilty of the same thing that General Petraeus was guilty of. But here's the problem. If Congress wants to look into anything that she did while she was Secretary of State, and if they want to check her emails, they have no way of knowing whether they're getting all of the emails. All she needs to do is swap out a hard drive, and they're gone. They're not like the IRS emails gone. They're really gone because there is no backup. Now, you can assume that any email she sent to the State Department would be saved there. But how would you know what she said or to whom she said whatever she said if she sent it to somebody else's private email account? Increasingly, Hillary Clinton is destroying her opportunity to be president. And I've talked about this before. She makes for a lousy candidate. She keeps carrying around more and more baggage. She's already carrying around the baggage from her foundation, which was taking money from other countries. Now we have this computer problem where we have no idea what she said, when she said it, who she said it to. It's going to make it difficult for Congress to look into Benghazi. It's going to keep hanging over her head like the sword of Damocles, and I think ultimately it destroys the chance that she had, any chance that she had, of running for president. I think this is pretty much the nail in the coffin. It's time for Missed in the Media. Iran has renewed its vow to quote-unquote annihilate Israel. They've been doing that for at least 40 years that I know of. One of the reasons that everybody is afraid they might develop a nuclear weapon is because we fear they may go after our ally, Israel. I don't think that's likely to happen. Benjamin Netanyahu came to this country this week to address Congress to tell us how dangerous Iran is. And they are dangerous. They are a terrorist state, but they are not going to bomb Israel. And I'll tell you why I believe that. Crazy though they may be, that is, those radical Islamists in charge of, well, Iran or Iraq or any ISIL, any of those groups, crazy though they may be, they don't want to die. They're willing to strap a bomb on some 18-year-old and send him into a crowd and let him or her die, but they aren't going to do that. They aren't willing to die for the cause. They're just willing to let somebody else die for the cause. Israel is already a nuclear country. We know this. They don't admit it, but we know it. And what Iran would do with a nuclear weapon is use it to terrorize non-nuclear countries. They won't go after Israel because Israel will respond. They'll send a nuclear bomb to Iran. And those people who are in charge, who don't want to die, will certainly die. Now, this is likely to end up being some kind of a war or some kind of a race to get nuclear power. I'm sure Saudi Arabia and other countries in the peninsula are going to be looking to arm themselves up, but that's okay. That's exactly the same tactic that we use to keep communist China and Russia in check. We had nuclear weapons, we had mutually assured destruction. That's what'll happen in the Middle East if they get a little crazy with their nuclear bombs. They're not stupid. They aren't going to use them on Israel. So really what we need to do is quit trying to dictate to other countries what weapons they get, just like we quit trying to use gun control in this country because it simply doesn't work. They're going to be armed. What we need to do is be more powerful than them. We need to be stronger than them. We need them to understand that if they try, they will die. That's a great foreign policy, and it's a great lesson, I think, for both the United States and Israel to remember. It's time for If They Were Here. My If They Were Here this week is Dr. Ben Carson. He's been a guest on this program, and I really do like Dr. Carson, but I don't think he should run for president. He's in the news right now because he made a statement about homosexuals and homosexuality being learned as opposed to a genetic problem or a genetic disposition. I tend to agree with him for a whole variety of reasons that I'm probably not going to have time to go into today. But let me just say that Dr. Carson would be serving the Republic better and serving the Republican Party better if instead of running for office, he ran as a cheerleader. He could do fundraising, he could promote, he's immensely popular, but he's not electable. As nice as he is, as intelligent as he is, as great an example as he sets, he simply isn't presidential. He's never run a large company. He's never been an executive in a state. He's never even been a legislator. Now, that isn't reason enough to rule him out. That doesn't mean just because he wasn't ever a governor or never did run for office that he couldn't do the job well. But I see nothing in his history that tells me he'll do the job well. I think Dr. Carson probably makes a mistake by throwing his hat in the ring. I think they're going to rip him apart on his position on homosexuality, even though it frankly does make sense. And I think he's probably going to do a disservice to his reputation by running, because the opposition is going to rip him to pieces. They're going to wreck his reputation, and it's needless. It doesn't have to happen. He can be on the sidelines rallying the troops, gathering money so they can run their ads and successfully run for office. Dr. Carson, if you were here, I would tell you not to run for office. Nice as you are, smart as you are, you're better off on the side helping the candidate of your choice.